Hi everybody, this is Emily K. Welcome back to this channel. Today I am having my sister Aaron Balayo. Shout outs to her. Yay! And today we're just going to talk about the things we can do to bring back the spark in our marriages. Those things we can do as married people. Oh, by the way, I am married, so is Aaron, 2 men.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yes,
Nowadays.
2 men. I have been married for a few years, just like her. But we
No,
have
let's
also
be
had
honest.
our fair
I
share,
have been married for half the time she has been married. So let
which
her
is
not.
still few because I know people who are celebrating Silver Jubilee and I don't know what. And
Okay.
I've been here for only 10 years.
Going on to 11.
Yes, and I have like 60 years to go. So it's still
Wow.
little. Now,
like.
even in those few years, we have had our fair share of going up and down this spark journey. Sometimes it's so hot the neighbors can't stand it, and sometimes it can get cold. And we thought, as married people, instead of getting to accepting the statistics that things over people enjoy their marriages in the first so many years, then it goes down, or saying, we have grown, now we have children, we have things to do, we have what, and then those, knowing that those small things, or allowing those standards to go down, sometimes maybe the beginning of a short journey to breaking up.
Very true.
So today we want to discuss the things we can intentionally ensure that we do slowly here and there, customizing them to your marriage to keep the spark in our marriage. So Aaron, let's get to it.
Without sounding very spiritual, I'd like to say for me, the first thing that has worked for me and I've seen work for many other people is prayer. Because God instituted this marriage thing,
He's the author.
He's the author. The only way we can really make the most of it and enjoy it is when we go back to Him. So it's important to pray for your spouse, pray for yourself, and pray for your marriage. The two of you. So yeah, Emily, do you have an example?
For me, I think the number one thing that has worked for me, Aaron, it is prayer. It is prayer.
Can you give us like a scenario?
The thing is, before I give you a scenario, before you disqualify prayer, if you've not used it, don't be so quick to push it away. After all, you've not used it and you're trying so many of these things and they have not worked. So for me as a person, I have grown to learn that the spiritual realm is more real than the physical realm. Secondly, if prayer is not a point, then why do we, for us we are Christians, why do we go to church? Why do we say let's go? Yes,
why
let's
don't
go
we just have
before
a
God.
reception?
So for me, I just remember when I was getting married, my husband and I, we agreed that while we are good together, we really were good together at the time, but we acknowledged that we need a third cord. If like I'm winding a rope or braiding, that third cord to make it a rope or a braid is stronger than a twist. So we thought we needed a third cord that will help us keep our marriage together, because while we may have enemies physical, our hugest enemies are spiritual. I don't know whether
and it is only one enemy, people, the devil.
Yes. And then also learning that marriage is, I think, the first institution God created or made. When He got Adam and Eve and put them together in a marriage, and that is the number one area that the devil will fight tooth and nail, because it is in marriages or in families that he will spoil the two of you, he will spoil the children, he will spoil everything. God's dream
then
of having a holy
community and also
spoil everyone there. So when things are not working out here at home, somehow it goes and spills over. I had to literally go and ask the Lord, because I have had those moments where I think it's over, like it's over. And then I remember, but when it was beginning, I invited you, Lord, and I have had this, maybe we will have another video where we're talking about how to pray for the marriages, because that's very important. I've had instances where I'm telling the Lord that I remember the Reverend asking, is there anyone who objects like to this wedding? And we waited and no one said aye. So he said, from this day forth, let no man put what asunder what God has put together. So for me, I would be praying and I would be like, I remember that day it was declared that let no man put asunder. So whatever, and then knowing well that sometimes what is affecting, not sometimes, most of the time, the origin is spiritual. So I would always go to prayer and I say that if a man cannot put asunder, how can a spirit? Yet I know that man has been created above the angels. So surely the spirits are even beneath the man. And then I go into spiritual warfare, and there are things that have broken, because also the scripture says that who knows the heart of a man, human being. It is the Lord who knows the heart of a man. He's the one who makes
that heart.
broken hearts, whatever condition of the heart. It's only God that can do it. So if you're in a marriage where prayer is these things where you say, oh Lord, I thank you for marriage, keep children, keep husband, keep the blessings flowing, in Jesus' name I pray and believe, and you're not going into
meanwhile you are in bed just about to sleep.
Yes.
Not even,
and you're not going into spiritual warfare, you may be doing yourself an injustice, because actually most of the time my spouse is not my enemy, it is an outsider.
Not most of the time,
all the time he's
your
not
spouse
my enemy.
is not your enemy.
Yes,
he's on your team. You're in the same team.
Yeah. So if we can break whatever spiritual things that may be there, it is easy for these other things that we're going to talk about to actually be done and to be to take effect, I should say. So prayer. We will do another video about prayer, but if you're not praying in your marriage, because also to say that prayer is not an event that you go to pray, it has to be a lifestyle. Don't live before you talk about your marriage, or you fight for your marriage on your knees, because I think that's the basics of my life. Whatever I have, my children, I have because of my husband. So for me, I don't know, we can talk about prayer forever.
All right, so can we move on to another point?
Yes, please.
Another thing that I feel, and I'm certain will add the spark into your bored relationship, is spending time together.
Like we used to do when we were dating. My God,
do you remember enough. Like when you're dating, you see someone on Tuesday, but by Thursday, Bananga, your heart is aching. You are all dying, yearning for the person, so that by Saturday, you just go and see the person, you have a date, you have an outing. So usually when we get married and the busyness of trying to make a living, the children come in, we just push the relationship.
Some
down
push
the
it
priority
to date night.
Yeah.
Which also is never.
Never happens. So when you feel like you're bored and things are just not working out, the feelings, Baba, they are fire. They have to really dig deep to get them. Try to be more intentional about spending time together with your person, with your lover. Spend more time with them. Do things, simple things. Just as simple as having one meal a day together. You can say, let's have supper together and connect over it. Or we shall wash the dishes together, or sweep the compound together. Or even sitting after dinner, and instead of scrolling your phones, you just connect and talk for 15 minutes and ask each other, how was your day? What happened? Things like that. In the moment of doing them, they may not feel like they're adding much. But when you do it continuously and it becomes a lifestyle, you realize that that's one of the avenues in which you bond, and somehow the spark grows there. The more time you spend with someone, the more you get to like them. Like when you're new at a job, you'll be eyeing everyone like, will I manage these people? 6 months down the road, oh, my workmates are so nice. Why? Because you've been spending time,
days, hours, longer hours than even spend with people at home. And Aaron, maybe just to mention, if anyone that has had an affair or has been along that path of getting to have an affair, one confession that they will make is that they spent a lot of time with that person. Either they're at work or they're at home. Even if it is the shamba boy, it is because
they are chatting on the
phone all
so
the
that
time.
Continuous communication.
Yes.
Definitely lights up a fire.
It puts down walls around people's hearts. And then also, because there are people who are in relationships that are distant, you also do a part-time distant relationship. She's in a part-time distant relationship.
A weekend physical marriage, then a weekly distant marriage.
But then, Aaron, let me tell you, apart from spending the night together, you may not be so different from most marriages, because during the day everyone is working. I don't know what they spend. Now in our country, they spend hours in jam. They reach home, it is 11 or 10 o'clock, tired and swamped, then they sleep. until Friday night. And when it is Friday,
weekend, then you remember to connect.
Only that many people, when it's weekend, they start thinking of going to check on the farm. I don't know which project, what, so they end up actually not being around anyway. So for all of us, though it is more for you people, I think let's say for all of us, the phone, video calls, chats, even when
text messages.
And maybe at this point, let me just say, what your partner is doing or how they respond is not important. When I was younger, before I got I used to watch Creflo Dollar Ministries, and there are certain things I remember up to now. I remember one time I was talking to married people, and he said that how you perform as a wife or as a husband does not depend on the other person's performance. You don't do 50-50. You do 100, they do 100. So just because your personal friend's performance, we call it our personal persons, just because their performance is 20%, don't say me, why would I do all those things? The person I'm doing these things for, he's not even worth it, or she's not even worth it.
He'll just
you do your part, because if we were having this conversation with the other person, they will also say that woman or that man. So you do your part, and then let the other person also do their part. You get it? And then maybe you just take out of your mind that thing of, if I send a text and she responds like this, oh God, I don't think I'll ever write again. You get it? You respond anyway. Because again, if you remember, Aaron, when we were being pursued, when the person is pursuing over, you respond, you don't respond.
Allow me to tell you this
Go
story.
ahead.
When Trevor was pursuing me, you guys, there's a point where I had refused it. You know that when you're still making up your mind. Trevor used to send me a message. Looking back, he told me I'd actually set a time and the messages would just come.
But first, wait, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Because you might say I'm too busy to do this.
So you type your messages and set that it will go. The way you set an alarm, you said that it will go at 11 or
at
10.
midnight, like that.
So Trevor, every day at 10 a.m. sent me a message. Guys, you know those messages which just make you go like, oh. He sent me a message, and somehow by the end of the month, I had gone more to yes than the no I was telling him. He pursued me. Like, you know, he would send me. Meanwhile, I would be happy to receive the message, but I would never respond. He sent me every day. I would even be looking forward, but I would never respond to the messages. And I used to say, but this guy doesn't give up.
But
like, he sent messages, and then he even turned the fire up further by changing the language. So Trevor has a French, background. He did his degree in French, and so he's French speaking-ish. So he would send me messages in French. You guys,
and then you go and look up what.
Yeah, I mean, I did French up to S, and I don't remember apart from bonjour and je m'appelle. So
how about amour?
Love.
Yes.
Yeah. So he would send me a message, then I would have to type it in and like try to interpret until I got a workmate who would help me interpret. But the messages got so hot, I became embarrassed. Like every time I would interpret for me, say, but Aaron, who is sending
this password?
Yeah, so that thing, like the texting, it actually works, irrespective of your partner's apparent response.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go watch Fireproof. I think it's that movie that has that guy who persistently did things that were
most of you have heard about it.
Yes. So communication, but I think to
capitalize
spending time together, to capitalize it intentionally. Yeah. Like
that's true.
You go out of your way, plan to spend time together, and then also this whole money thing. I think we need to stop using money as an excuse. Money and time, for two reasons. One, time, you make time for things that you value. If it's important, you will make time. Yeah. Like today, you can say, I'm working the whole week, I can't get leave. But when they tell you have an interview on Tuesday, you will get the time.
You fall sick at work and
yes,
make
and then there's no money.
Interview.
For us, in our culture, we have festive things, like barring,
culture stuff,
weddings, I don't know what. You can say you don't have money, but when if someone passes over, you will get the money to make a whole 3-day feast.
That's true. Or even to contribute.
To
You know, those men
contribute.
who say don't have money, then the neighbor's wife dies.
They will
and
contribute.
money. Say,
Or there's someone wedding, a graduation party, you will
Mhm.
contribute. So if you can contribute for all those things,
moreover for other people's benefit.
you can make the money, or you can set apart money for what things like to spend time together. But then also there are so many things we can do that don't require money. And me, you know the things I have enjoyed. I told you at the time when I was taken for a walk. I know walk is okay, but my dear, when you're walking with your spouse, you're like maybe holding hands and they're telling you things, you're jazzing, you walk 10 kilometers when you don't realize how far
But
it's
10
gone.
kilometers is a lot now.
You can okay.
The romance can go away suddenly.
Yeah, in the 30 kilometer. But you get to the point like you can walk
Yeah.
a really, really long distance. So find things where you don't need to spend much. Cook food, or get a few snacks, popcorn, watch a movie, go for a picnic, sit outside together, whatever really.
Yeah.
Whatever is within your means.
I think it's important to stay attractive to our spouse.
To our spouse.
Yeah, because that's the most important person. That's the only person who should actually care about your attractiveness. So take care of yourself, work on your hair. Don't have hair for 5 months. Okay, it can be there for 5 months, but
Some
when
people
it's
don't
well
understand
kept,
that here in Africa we braid.
yeah, like what we did.
We
the
braid hair so you can hold it there for 2 months.
Some people stretch to 6 months,
Wash
and then
it.
the growth covers the hair, so you can no longer tell if they are braids or not.
Or their personal hair.
Yeah, so really take care of yourself, bathe, apply some lipstick or lip balm, whatever works for you. Try to work on your weight and make sure you're not going to obese, things like that. Dress nice, dress sexy. Like, don't just be that person that wears promotional t-shirts, lesus, an unattractive head wrap. You chill these head wraps, which are good, but you're always either wearing a
I think
nika
that
on the
usually
head.
happens at home.
Yeah, at home.
Nika, that sounds
Your
so
daughters.
Our daughters who
people
shots
are doing
all
this,
parties
guys.
on the head.
The people are doing this. I'm saying these things, they might be from experience. You never know.
True story.
So you're either wearing a promotional t-shirt up, then down it's a lace. Your nails have not seen any care for like years. Even when you go to sleep in bed, you are just hurting your spouse with your heel because it's cracked and rough.
The sun has hit that dead skin that has not been scrubbed for years.
And sure, even you, when you look at yourself, you are not pleased
with
your appearance.
You are not attracted to yourself.
So why would your spouse want you?
Maybe Aaron, just to emphasize this, you said that we try to remain attractive to that person, or that person should be attracted to us. Some people are looking at us and wondering, but that's what I do, but you find that we put so much emphasis on when we are going out there. So people look nice, they will not tie their hair like that when they are going to work. So the person out there is
on point.
They always see you at your very best 80%. Then at the end of the day, when you come back home, you are at the 20%. You're wearing suits, you're wearing expensive perfume, you even speak well, and someone is like, "Panange, that guy or that girl."
Yeah.
When your spouse is crying,
when you go back home, the ladies, the bra gets off from at the gate. You put off the bra.
I want to be comfortable.
Go down. Then the hair you cover, you don't want it to get too spoiled.
Then you wear that skirt, which is like a blouse. You can wear it from here and it covers you up to down. Let me share a personal experience. One time I had those clothes of mine which I wear from home. They're like 3 dresses or 4. So every weekend that's what I am wearing. So one time my husband said, "But Emid, he left in the morning at around 9. He came back at around 4 or 5 and he found me in the same dress. Like, but I left you in that dress in the morning.
Oh wow.
So you've not changed, you've not bathed, you've not changed. I was like, but like I'm home. So there's that comfort we get, and you over familiarize the person, and you forget to be hot and to be nice. Some of us are excusing ourselves for being pregnant, for breastfeeding. I am sick, can't you see? We have grown. Also, you
love me for
don't
who
you
I am.
get satisfied?
Love me for who I am.
Buy for me the clothes if you want.
Look at inner beauty.
Inner beauty is more important than physical beauty. But you guys, we don't have sex with.
We are not supposed to have sex with.
We have
other people out, right?
No, what I'm trying to say is that when you're having sex with.
You don't have sex
with
the
the soul.
Beauty.
You're communing as a soul, like me and my spouse. But it is the bodies. Because it all begins in the mind. The mind is connected to the eye. Your spouse needs optical nutrition. Though also for the men, my dear, you need to do things. You start early.
Comb your hair.
Those shorts, those t-shirts, because they also wear those t-shirts. When they're going to work, they're smart. When they come home, they don't bathe.
I have a confession about promotional t-shirts. Can I tell you? So I have access to a bank's promotional t-shirts, different colors. I catch myself wearing on Monday blue, Tuesday yellow, Wednesday red, black, banana, you guys, white. Like then on Saturday when I'm trying to be smart, I wear white. Until one day, my husband told me, let me finish this one. My husband told me, but you know what? You should write a letter of thanks to that bank.
To that bank because they dress you.
That's what I was so amused.
Some of you are wearing marathons, organizations. What are these things called? Companies, businesses.
Red Cross, MTN,
Airtel, Kampala Marathon. I don't know what. But I know this. You see, we wear them because of comfort. You want to be comfortable, but we need to move away from their
comfort zone and be intentional about staying attractive. Really, and attractiveness is not just physical. You also need to work on your health because a healthy person is an attractive person.
Exercise, guys. Walk around, lose the baby fat. Gentlemen, lose that. I don't know.
It's not a Christian hug of your stomachs meet first before
the chest comes. I know you can pass. You can be comfortable and stay like that, but if you really, we are talking about trying to be intentional, work on it. You men, you know the times you've lost weight and your wife is like, these days you've lost weight. Does she say, Kanga, you've lost weight? You work on yourself, eat well. I don't think so. Most of us say, Kanga, you've lost weight. Meanwhile, like you just look better. You just look more attractive.
And in case your spouse is not telling, especially when you're like obese, they're just trying to be kind,
nice,
and not to offend your feelings. But deep down, when you lose weight, they'll be the first person when they celebrate you. So
aim at looking better naked. It's important. That one is now homework for you. You need to burn those t-shirts.
Emily, do you know what I did after that comment? I was so amazed. I said, I wrote a letter of thanks to the bank because they sponsored me. I got annoyed. One day I went to town and shopped.
So now I will only catch you when you're in the garden.
Yeah. And maybe once in a while, you know, when you are doing that deep general cleaning, you can put on that comfortable t-shirt that you don't mind getting dirty. But I really stopped, and now I'm smarter at home. You know, these things of being smart at home, we are not used to. We used to have clothes for staying home and then for going out. So I'm trying to move out of that comfort zone and actually looking good while at home. Because now in this season, it's mainly where I
also used to do that a lot, and my kids got used. So when I decided to change, every time I would like bathe in the morning and dress up. On a Saturday morning, I am not going anywhere, but I've dressed up. My daughter would be like, Mommy, where are you going? Mommy, where are you going all the time? So she asked for months, and I told her, just get used. I am not going anywhere. You are wearing the clothes for going. Because it is so evident in our culture. But
so that's one of those cultural things we need to break, that we can look good while home.
Yeah. Clean up.
Yeah. I mean, look good, because when you're looking good, your confidence is going to go up there, and guess what? You feel more confident.
Confident people are attractive people.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to bring back the spark. Another thing that I know will definitely help people increase their spark is honesty.
Openness.
Vulnerability.
Oh, That one, for us, I think, I don't want to say in our culture, I think it's the whole world. People have walls of insecurity around their hearts. You guard yourself, you're afraid you're going to be heartbroken, rejected, abused, done what, and so you build that wall and you don't let someone come in. So we tend to keep so much to ourselves, which I know
true. Which limits connection. Like, you're not able to fully connect with your person, and then you really, the spark is definitely going to be affected.
True story.
So do you have like a scenario you want to share with us about vulnerability? What can people talk about? Are they going to just share about finances, their background?
For me, I think the big things are important. We keep our big things, but if you're trying to build that relationship where you're open to each other, you're vulnerable with your spouse, share small things like, I was moving when I passed there, that house which has maybe dogs. Maybe a dog was released, but I was so scared. Or you say I was driving, I almost knocked somebody. Those small things, but I was so hungry. I had an issue the other day, and I wanted to ease myself, and I could not access the toilet. Those simple things of what's happening in your day. Just throw in something you'd never say
to someone else.
There are people who you're married, but your spouse is not even aware you have an infection.
Which kind of infection?
A UTI infection,
which he probably even helped you get.
Imported for you, but you can't even say that
point.
Yes, of saying,
of being comfortable with who you are. So I feel like vulnerability cuts across in marriage. You need to be vulnerable with your finances and wealth. You need to be vulnerable with the things that affect you, the things that trigger you. If you have anything in your past that caused you trauma, maybe you were raped, maybe you watched your parents being killed or something. There are so many traumatic experiences in our world today.
And you know what, Erin? Most of the time when we share such things, our spouses love us. They always say, I even love you the more. It's not like, okay, maybe they do love you the more, but the thing is they
feel more connected.
Yes, they appreciate that openness. It's like you've let them in.
And when you let them in, you definitely feel like closer to the person. And guess what you're doing? You're lighting a fire. So you need to be vulnerable in all areas, even sexually, guys. You need to talk about sex with your spouse. Not just, I want it, we've not had enough. No. Go beyond the surface questions. You
usually
share your desires, your fantasy.
I don't like that. Fantasy is very important. You guys, a fantasy is a fantasy. It may never happen, but your spouse could help you to bring it to life.
Make your dreams come true.
Share. You say, me, I have this fantasy of... I don't remember.
I forgot to know your fantasies, but they're all PG-rated.
They are PG-rated. My children might watch this video.
But young sisters.
But I have shared my fantasy before with my spouse, and he helped me.
It happened.
Yes, he helped me. He was very kind.
Awesome. So when you're able to share things where, just feel like, man, when I say this, are people going to is my spouse going to look at me the same way? When you're able to overcome that fear and take a risk of showing your true self, your real self, you're definitely going to go into a deeper level of connection, which increases your intimacy and spark in the relationship. So, Emily, what is the last thing that we're going to share with people about you creating? Do you want to talk about grace? Grace and forgiveness.
Grace is that undeserved favor that you give someone. They don't deserve it. You've done this to me. I would rather shout at you, do this to you, cut you off,
punish you, give you what you deserve.
But I would rather not. You don't deserve my forgiveness, but I'm giving it to you. And first of all, it's a gift. Secondly, knowing that you may be the only person that does that to that person as a human being. Because we are married to people that are beaten everywhere. They are beaten at work for being late, for being disorganized, for underperforming, not meeting targets. They are beaten when they go to their side hustles. They are being cheated. They are beaten everywhere.
On the road. Your fellow drivers are telling you how bad a driver you are. They are cursing you. The
roads. So by
the time you get home, you're
looking for peace. And then the spouse, your husband, the wife is all at you. You don't do this, you don't do this. What kind of woman are you? What kind of man are you? I mean, at the end of the day, you want to just go away. And that's why some people literally bring home sleep.
Yeah.
Or that relationship dies and you're like, I can't talk to him or I can't talk to her. So that space of allowing, first of all, lowering the expectations of your spouse. Yes, like,
and really letting them off the hook. That's what grace does. It lets you off the hook. But the thing is, when you give it, your spouse appreciates it so much. The occurrences of doing the wrong things usually goes down, because they're like, man, my spouse really.
And let's get to it really. For me, on my marriage certificate, there's no name. In my husband's name, there's no angel.
Yeah, that's true. So your spouse is definitely going to do things that
there's a guy who was
irritate you.
When is my wife going to stop doing things which annoy me, those bad things? And I told him, you guy, you're so lucky, she will never. He's like, what? Like, I have to stand her all my life. Unfortunately, yes. But you see, of course, some of us spouses are doing really bad things.
Yeah.
But you can find that the way you react, you're just pushing them to never change, People don't want to be pushed down. You have to be like, so aren't you like so and so, aren't you like so and so. No one wants to change. The constant
criticism and nagging just pushes them
makes the things worse.
It just ignites a rebellious spirit, and they just keep doing this.
I'm not going to change.
But grace is the best version of a person, and you help them like bring it out. Like, they just feel like, what? I did this, but my spouse was able to overlook it. So they just develop a desire to please you. And also, grace pushes you to forgiveness. You know, in marriage, if you don't have forgiveness, you're going to live a bitter life.
You're going to get bitter, and your marriage will end early. If you choose to grow age together, you'll be a bitter wife, a bitter mother, a bitter neighbor, a bitter workmate, a bitter sister, a bitter brother. It all begins at home, and it's not worth it. And for me, I always say, me, I love my husband, Manangi, to death, like I love him, but I will not go to hell for him. I will not, because if you have that bitterness and unforgiveness, because in the Lord's Prayer they say, forgive me of my sin or my transgression, my trespasses, as I forgive those who trespass against me or sin against me. So it does not say forgive me my sins. I will also forgive. It is as I. So you have to first forgive, then you also be forgiven. So if you're holding bitterness and forgiveness for your spouse, I know they have hurt you, but if you have nothing to push you to forgive them, hell, I'm not going to hell for a human being. Don't go to hell for your spouse. Your spouse will also not be happy knowing that you're in hell because of them. Secondly, you have other people to live for. One, you have to live for yourself. Forgive that person so that you have life. Because
you have a free spirit.
Yes, because they say unforgiveness is like poison, which you're swallowing, but you're hoping that the other person dies. Yeah. You swallow every day, but you're hoping your husband is going to die or fall sick. And my dear, you're going to fall sick. Most of us, okay, there are many instances that people have developed illnesses, high blood pressure, I don't know what, cancers. I'm sorry, but that is it, because of things we are harboring inside. So you're already unhappy and you're like, why me all the time? I'm the one in a bitter marriage. I'm the one who is falling sick. I am the one they are firing from work. You guys, look at yourself. Look at yourself. The bitterness is like oozing out and affecting everyone around you. So do it for yourself. Do it for your children. Your children need a mother or a father that is...
Or even do it for your parents, people, or your siblings. I mean, there are so many people out there who appreciate you because you're more than your marriage. So I feel that grace really just allows us to live a bitter-free life. It's like you allow or let your spouse know that you acknowledge they are not perfect, just like you are not perfect. Yeah. And so you're able to live life complementing each other and having a really, really great spark.
So what's our homework for today?
I would like to know what our viewers have done in their relationships to maintain the spark, and also what we've learned in our discussion today. So hit the comment section and share. We'll be glad to read through.
So don't forget to check out Aaron's YouTube channel. It's called Aaron Balayo. Subscribe, keep the comments coming in, and then remember the key word for today's discussion is intentional. Nothing comes naturally. Get out of your comfort zone. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet next time. Bye.